First of all, before I start going on, is there anyone here for the first time today? All right, welcome. Did you get a packet? Good, very good. And the other thing I might say, if you want information about what goes on here, and then there's a book on the back. You can put your email, because that's how we use it. We use the email address. So, yeah. For those of you who are first time, I'm Reverend Julie Applegate, and I welcome you this morning. It's so good to have you here. And as we move into the holiday season, we have a lot going on, as holiday seasons do. But we promise they're not for stressing, they're for de-stressing. So we have a couple workshops coming up. One is Faces of Gratitude. So we're in, and that should be on the back of your program. All of these are on the back of your program. So you can, except for one, and I'm going to announce that. Yes. And there's sign-up sheets for them out in the library, our beautiful library. If you're here for the first time, you'll want to go out to the library, and it's really a cool room. So in Faces of Gratitude, I'm looking for the date on that.
Next Sunday.
Yeah, okay. Next Sunday, and it's next Saturday. Where's Cheryl? She's down. The one who is... Yeah, the one who's leading that is preparing nice treats for you downstairs. So she helps with hospitality, which, by the way, please stay after and get to know everyone and have coffee. And I don't know if we have any other treats or not down there. We usually do. Usually plenty of sugar, because what would a church be without sugar? And then the Serenity Workshop. Cheryl, do you want to speak to that? And there is a sign-up sheet for that in the library, so those who lead those workshops can be prepared. Often they bring a number of materials for those, so yeah.
So I used to call this workshop Sobriety During the Holidays. But a lot of people were like, well, that's not really the problem. It's my serenity. So this is a workshop. Do you have those relatives that every time you see them, things don't turn out well? Or do you have those people that don't agree with you on things that you feel very passionately about, but you still manage to get upset with them? Well, I've heard people say, well, they push my buttons. Well, guess who put the buttons there? So let's just, if you'd like to join me next on the 24th on Sunday, it's a workshop about how to keep your serenity when you're with people that don't necessarily agree with who you are. So I hope y'all will join me. There's a sign-up sheet in the library. Thank you.
Yeah, so both of these workshops are really, really designed for the holidays and very valuable. So take those announcements on the back of your program home so you can tell what's going on. And also there's the Thanksgiving meal here on Thanksgiving Day. And Reverend Moore Horton this year is hosting it. So I think he will bring the turkey, and you're all invited to come if you have nowhere else to go, or even if you're planning on going somewhere later. I have friends that sometimes eat twice, if that's possible. So anyway, just bring something to share, and there's also a sign-up sheet out there, and you can put what you would like to bring and share. Okay, let's see if there's anything that needs to be particularly pointed out here. Next week, Soup for the Soul, and you guys, that is really good. We have delicious soups and breads and usually salads and whatever, and dessert. And it's $3, and it's a fundraiser. And what we're raising funds for, I know we always say it's a fundraiser, but we don't always say what we're raising funds for. We did buy a defibrillator with the funds from that, and we are now trying to fix the locks on the doors, which if you use a certain door, you'll understand what's wrong with them. So, yeah, all of these are wonderful fundraisers. Yes, Reverend Moore.
Just have a couple of announcements. One, for those of you who like to use the daily guides in the Science of Mind magazine, there are copies of them in the usual place where the daily guides are put. They just have, the magazine is a little late this month. And the second one is there are copies of a letter from our CSL spiritual leader, as one who's in charge or represents the entire Centers for Spiritual Living. There's some copies on the table out there in the library if you care to take one. It's about elections. Yeah.
So, okay, enough about those, I guess, one word. Our music this morning, Darcy, welcome. So good to see you. I haven't seen you in a whole month, and it is always such a treat. And our message, Reverend Don Kerr is going to deliver our message. So, let us begin with, shall we stand and sing?
You have the words in your program, the long side. I always say that you can't give away what you don't have. And so the idea of giving away love has to come from the fact that you know you are love and that you exude that. And you have that. So let's sing this together. And like I always say, this is probably one of the hardest songs some people will sing. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. Think of somebody. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But what? But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. Oh, I love myself just the way I am. Right on. Cool. Good morning, good morning. Oh. Thank you. We have our invitation to prayer.
Prayer,
Okay.
Yeah.
On the back of that page you were just looking at, it says invitation to prayer. Acknowledgement of what is. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can hear its mighty power and its grace. There's a hope I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. One more time. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can hear its mighty power and its grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Yes, it is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's just allow ourselves to sink into our seats for a moment, just to get comfortable with our opening prayer, recognizing that there is only one power, only one universal energy back of all creation, that we are manifest from this power, that we are individualized expressions of this power, here to create and show God a good time. And I know as the day unfolds that the message holds special meaning to somebody in this place, possibly everyone in this place. And knowing this, we open our hearts and our minds, and being receptive and loving, we allow these words to wash over us, to heal, and to bring us to a place of peace and calm and serenity. And I know that this prayer goes out and encompasses all of creation, that we know that everything is unfolding in divine right order, that no matter how it appears, it is still God in action. And so with these words and with so much gratitude in my heart, I release my word to the law, knowing that everything is in God's own time. So we just let go and let God. So if this resonates with you, please join me in saying, and so it is. Now I have the group affirmation for the day. Today, I set intentions to recognize the love in my life, to open my heart to love in its many forms, to share love wherever I can, and to be love. This is the light I carry, and so it is.
Thank you, Cheryl. Give up to grace. The ocean takes care of each wave until it gets to shore. Good morning.
Good morning.
Today's reading comes from the Science of Mind magazine and is entitled The Rhythm of the Heart. To believe in God effectively means much more than simply asserting that you believe in a power greater than yourself. The presence of God to you must be an inner experience, a spiritual conviction that is real. You must know that God is right where you are and not separate from you. Every time your heart beats, it is responding by an infinite rhythm no one ever fathomed. Every time you think, you are thinking creatively because your mind is one with the creative spirit. Out of the mind of God, you were created as a divine being. And as a divine being, you must recognize and know that the source that which created you out of itself, the creative Spirit of God Almighty. Acknowledging that there is a power greater than anyone's personal will is virtual to effective living. It affirms humility, balance, and a healthily proportioned ego. It's pretty obvious that a whole lot is going on in the cosmos that no individual had any part in creating, at least at the level of the individual, such as how hearts beat in rhythm or how colors paint the sky in the evening. But here's the wonderful paradox. While the human personality cannot circumscribe the fullness of the divine's nature, that nature expresses fully and simultaneously through each of us. Recognizing a higher power is a good start. Then we move to the realization that we are of one mind with that power. We think and feel into creative process, manifesting conditions and experiences in return. The bonus affirmation for today: I align with the infinite rhythm of spirit, trusting that the same creative power that flows through the cosmos flows through me. I surrender to grace, knowing that the divine guidance supports every step I take. Thank you. And now to you, Darcy.
I think when I think about the topic of love, it's so easy to say, I love, I love, I love, you know. It's much harder to see it in the moment. It's much harder to say, oh, that's love. And there's a show of love. And that's love. And this is love in a different way, and this is love. And to acknowledge it is the hardest part, I think. And this song asked a question, and I think everybody wanted to answer it. And it goes like this. Can you set me up a beat? 2, 3, 4. 525,600 minutes. 525,000 moments so dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life? How about love? How about love? How about love? Measuring love. Seasons of love. 525,600 minutes. 525,000 journeys to plan. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man? In truths that she learned, or in times that he cried, in bridges you burned, or the way that they died. It's time now to sing out, though the story never ends. Let's celebrate the life of the year, the life of friends. Remember the love. Oh, remember the love. Remember the love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
How many minutes did she just say?
525,600 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That's a year. Wow. Well, I had a joke all prepared here. I didn't think you've ever heard this one before. but I think you have heard it, so I'm going to tell another one later. Okay. So hello, everybody.
Hey.
My God, it's glad to see you here. Just look out there and see those faces just looking back up saying, what's he going to talk about today? It better be worth my time coming here. I had other things planned. You know, on our program this morning, you'll see it's going to say the topic of the message is treat yourself to love this day. I'm going to say something, however, before we get into our love topic this morning. Maybe help refresh the general atmosphere of our morning before we get in gear. It's been covered a little bit in our meditation and in our pray-in and so on by our blessed Cheryl Guess, one of our practitioners. But here's the thing. It seems to me, as we humans gather together and agree on conclusions to establish institutions which justify our values and develop preferences on leaders who believe will serve us in the best of our ways, an odd human characteristic develops. Maybe it's not so odd. I don't want to call it a human flaw, but it does seem that we can follow this tendency to think that what we stand for, we must stand against who and what others who have different conclusions feel and think is for their best interests. Now, mostly, I think this all comes down to fear. F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. Forget everything and run. Yeah, you know. Fearing the other perspectives may encroach or threaten our hopes and dreams and what we've been desiring and what we so strongly believe is right. And so, therefore, I confess, I think we may find ourselves locked down to our human planet mind, all these perspectives and we forget, we forget that the law of cause and effect is always working, folks. The law of cause and effect, whether we know it or not, when we put into the mirror of the universe, it reflects right back to us in some way. No one escapes this. Every thought we speak of negativity to or about each other is heard. It's not ignored by the universe. The universe doesn't punish anything or anyone. It's not in the punishing business. But you know what? It just reflects consequences. Always consequences. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. We talk about that. Our freedom of thought that we have is the beautiful, precious thing. It's taken us down, however, several different opposite paths for walking our time on this earth. We have that privilege to do so. But the beautiful part, I think, of our freedom to choose, oh gosh, it always holds out for us these great hopes and dreams and many times manifests opposites of a current state of mind or belief. And still, the law of cause and effect is still operating, whether we know it or not. Nothing escapes the universe's balancing of the law in the law of cause and effect. And we can remember, oh God, can we remember? We can change our perspectives to dwell upon the most beautiful word, one of the most beautiful words mankind has ever accepted universally, and that's namaste. The divine in me always recognizes the divine in you, whoever you may be. Okay. Nothing escapes the balancing of the universe's law of cause and effect. Just, I have to remember that. Wanted to bring that up, so let's get on to the message of our morning. So if you read the title of the message on the program, it says right there, I'm reading it myself, treat yourself to love this day. So I had to ask myself, do I think it means to emphasize that we are to treat ourselves to love this day that we're experiencing right now? Or does it suggest that we treat ourselves to love on this day we're experiencing right now? Hallelujah. But don't make it complicated. Love is really so large, so all-encompassing. It covers it all. Covers the waterfront, covers the ocean, covers the whole world. So, I have a wraparound on this, however, just a little bit. A wraparound statement to this treat yourself to love this day. I want to quote from Perry McWilliams' book. It's a little book called Life 101. You may have heard of it. He writes this: by the time we graduate from high school, we have spent some 14,500 hours plus in classrooms. However, in all that time, did we ever learn or even explore the meaning of love and the meaning of life for ourselves and others in the world? We dissected a frog, I bet you. We learned how to calculate the square root of an isosceles triangle. Some of us did. I can't remember doing it, but I know I did. But did we learn the mathematics of love as how to forgive others and forgive ourselves? We may even know how to diagram a sentence. You remember the diagramming of sentences? But did we learn the key dynamic diagram of human relationships that helps us to know how to love ourselves and others? With the unconditional love, that's the love I'm talking about. Jesus spoke to that unconditional love with all of our heart. God first, ourselves and others. Did we learn about worthiness and how to show it and how to get it? You know, in our teaching, you've heard us say this before, our willingness, just our willingness, is our worthiness. Willing to accept, willing to come and be. Did we learn the power of thoughts and how to use them? And did we learn how to, despite any mistakes, did we learn that no matter what we have done in the way of mistakes, how valuable those mistakes can be if we just learn, if we're going to learn from them, and how to maintain our love of this day and every day and ourselves and every other being on the planet. And here's the thing that got me when I read this. Did we learn about ourselves and every other being on the planet has this combined worth? Mother Nature, Mother Earth claims us. We belong. We just have to figure out. Now, in this amazing little book, there's another amazing little book. Reverend Raymond Charles Barker, that Reverend Moore got into and quoted last week so well. And was called Treat Yourself to Life. And it is an amazing little book. Reverend Barker wrote a chapter on Treat Yourself to Love. Now, he starts by writing, he starts out kind of negative. There's an immediate but true negative statement. He wrote this. He says, we have produced a generation of many, many unhappy people. He goes on to state, the last 100 years have given us such greater comforts and greater ease and inventions that serve us so well. Greater than humanity has ever known before in the history of this world. And yet this has produced more frustration. He's talking about my computer, you understand. And incompleteness and anxiety along with it all. And speaking of a word such as love, so many look upon this word kind of in this mix of ways of feeling and being. Basically, I think we all go down two different paths when we talk about love. We think it's all, okay, there's two ways we talk about love in a specific way and in a whole general way. Okay, the first way is a religious term, the love of God. God's other name is love. And secondly, our human emotional and physical experiences of love. How we taste it, how we do it, how we feel it, how we touch it. We get to hold and touch and share each other and love objects in our world physically. That's a privilege. Now, let me just, I hope I don't take us off the beaten path and jump the rails here, but I want to address the common religious teaching of our main religion in this part of the world. It's about the love of God. Churches all over are preparing for a season right now, coming up in December, to celebrate what they teach and how God so loved this world that God is willing to give his only begotten Son to be a sacrifice for all the sins of humankind, washing away all the wrong living choices of humans and their sinful living with the blood of God's Son, Jesus, because God so loved the world. Now, I realize that's a harsh perspective that I just spoke to, but there's a wonderful work done in the name of Jesus and God's love always. But I got to say this, is it any wonder that the word love and the hunger for love that we have as humans still wonder just where does the word love fall into our world? Where does it show up in our life? Where does it show up in our faith, in what we believe in, what we practice, how we live our life? We're told that God loves us, that God was willing to not make another flood to wash away the incompleteness of sins, and figured out that didn't work, and yet is still willing to sacrifice God's only begotten Son because God so loves the world. As a child, I did not get that reasoning. I didn't understand it, and I still can't accept it as an understanding. I can just turn the other cheek. Say that again. That was wonderful.
Jesus said we could blame him, so we don't have to fight with each other. We don't have to figure out whose fault it is. We can just understand the problem and work together to fix it. That's all.
Thank you.
That's all.
Sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I do thank you for bringing that up. And I think whatever divine happened in my life, opened gates in my life as I wondered about that, to see different paths for experiencing love and knowledge and understanding divine love for my world. However, I think still, is it any wonder that humanity, in its efforts to come to grips with how love is meant to be expressed and give us that empowerment that Jesus so solidly spoke of, I think it eludes so many, often because, well, you might know the song, a popular song here some years ago, probably back in the 80s maybe, some years ago, looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many faces. Yeah, remember that? Mm-hmm. Just looking for love. I believe that's what we're all looking for, is it not? Always. We are looking for the love in this. Is it any wonder that so many really have been using many times to incorporate this love, to find the aspect of seeking a mutual connection through only just the physical, a sexual exchange that goes way past the biological urge to perpetuate the species of humankind, and using only the physical exchange to complete the experience of love between human beings. It's all biologically good reasoning. It's all sweet. It's all confusing. Can be. But to intend to the coming together of the human and the human, whether it be feminine and feminine, or masculine and masculine, or masculine and feminine, but with love as the cohesive power to bring humans fulfillment. Now I got to say that, fulfillment, a completion, including the intended way of bringing new life in human form on the planet. That too is be looking for love. Life comes into being just looking for love, needing love, in need of it. Okay, I've mixed my own perspectives into this, and I thank you for bringing a couple things to the forefront here. But Reverend Barker goes on, getting back to him, to confirm in these words a couple things. He draws some boundaries here. He says, I'm writing of love as being the essential expression of wholeness. Whole being, whole living, whole me, whole you, whole universe. He states that your happiness, my happiness, is in direct relation of our ability to give ourselves to others. So that's what we do as humans in so many different ways. And be willing to receive what others are willing to give back to us. Then he goes on to flatly state, not all can do this. No, not easily. Some and many, but not all. Now within Reverend Barker's chapter, he titled this Treat Yourself to Love, he also states that if we're going to make love the center of our life by attempting to be more loving, we have to be, first, foremost, wise about it. We have to be, first and foremost, more orderly and more law-abiding. I just tweaked at that. Law-abiding? Mm-hmm. Now that word of being wise first triggered something in me. It reminds me of a joke. I don't think you've heard this joke. Maybe you have. I'll see if you have. Just a minute. Let me see if you've... I'd like to tell this to you. I'm going to take a break from looking for love. This is called a wisdom joke. An angel appeared at a faculty meeting and told the dean of the meeting that in return for his unselfish and exemplary behavior, God would reward him with his choice of infinite wealth, infinite wisdom, or beauty. What do you say? Well, without hesitating, the dean chose infinite wisdom. Done, said the angel, and disappeared in a cloud of smoke and a bolt of lightning. And then all heads turned toward the dean, who sat surrounded by a faint halo of light. He seemed stunned and shocked as a cloud of silence encompassed the room. One of his colleagues leaned over and whispered to him, "Say something, say something." The dean, now filled with infinite wisdom, looked up at the ceiling and said, "I should have taken the money." That sounds like me.
Yeah.
Well, so going back to Reverend Barker's comment about abiding in the law, which is the other thing that, what is he talking about here? He claims that the law of the universe is steeped with divine wisdom. And the law that he speaks to, I think, is the law of life. And I think you can take this to your heart. There is a teaching that tells us there is a law of life which is a reflection of the great law of the universe, which operates on, through, and within the flow of power, which we can call unconditional love, following the order of creative energy, always on the flow. Now, he kind of weaves this here. We got to follow this. It's the way that divine love creates forms and all expressions of life in all ways, whether it be cerebral, whether it be emotional or physical. Human living is expressing life in myriads of ways. That's our privilege. And we sing a song here really quite often. It's got the words, "Give yourself to love. Love is all you're after." How so true? How so true? Now, to go on with Barker's point about love, he states that to make love the center of your life, which should be a good goal, we have to be more loving. However, what happens is, without realizing, a many great number of people are hypnotized by their desires for love and think they are more loving, always looking for love, and really they're just fooling themselves. So I read that, but he went on to say they sometimes make a 4-star production of just loving everybody, thereby getting themselves into some difficult situations because they want to express love. They look for love in too many faces. I made this up here about that. Without first getting wisdom, he brought in. Understanding wisdom first. Now, what does that mean? He speaks to all life and all expressions of living and loving, seeking to acquire a fulfilling state of loving, must have, first of all, order. Now, this perception just seems like old school to me, but as I read a little deeper here, here's what I think he means. He tries to simplify a little bit as he talks about our human need to have this healthy concept of God, a wholeness concept of God. Our religious organized vocabulary holds a concept of God having this intimate, embraceable nature for us, by us, but so we'll even call it this. God's other name is love. Another name for God is love. We accept that. We've all heard that. So in Barker's chapter on Treat Yourself to Love, he writes these exact words in explaining and rounding it out for me. He said, your first concept of God should be order. And then your second concept of God should be love. Why? Otherwise, you have love without order, and the law of cause and effect operates whether or not we like it or believe in it. You see, since we are living in this universe of order, it's going to respond to you as you respond to it. And this, then he goes on to say, love without order is confusion. Love without order, he opens it up, he says, it's practically neuroses. We can only love intelligently and with wisdom after we have established order and are willing to accept responsibility of living in a universe that is governed by law. Now, in our studies of religious science, what do we always say? We teach that all is love, yet all is law. And we also state that the first law of heaven is order. Yeah. And all that means is that there's no accidents in the universe. There can't be any accidents. There is cause and effect. There are consequences. There is purpose. We can bet our bottom dollar. We can bet your bottom dollar that every atom, every particle, every molecule, every quark, every galaxy, every you, every me has a purpose for existing. So what does that make us? A spiritual truth is that we are purposeful. Yeah, we have purpose. We may think that I'm purposeless. No, you're not. We are purposeful. We are powerful. Little me powerful? You betcha you are. Powerful. We are co-creative beings. That's our privilege because we are these things. We are radiant with godness. That's when you say that. I am radiant with godness. My goodness, how does that feel? Do you have the feeling that you could say that? I am radiant with godness. Can you say that?
I am radiant with God.
Well, one more. I am radiant with godness. That sometimes it gets watered down with judging happenings by first appearance in life, you know. First appearances tell us different. Oh, okay. Spiritual by divine nature is what we like to think of ourselves. And given the privilege, giving all these privileges only by this power of our making choices and decisions, that means we can destroy our forms. We can destroy other forms, anything on the planet. But because of our wholeness and our unity with power and the intelligent, infinite God energy that permeates all life, we cannot destroy who we really are. You can't even hide it. I can't even hide it of who we really are. What is that saying? What you do by your something speaks more loudly. Yeah. Anyhow, I forget that. But it's a good saying. Okay. With all of this powerful, intelligent, infinite energy that permeates all life. Now, we're talking about God power, of course. On the other hand, there's an aspect of this divine, infinite God energy that we can incorporate in all the life activities. And that is done by this: simply following Jesus' powerful, revelatory promise to us when he urged us to get wise. Here's how we get wise. First off, he says, love God. Love the goodness, the godness with all your beingness. And in doing so, that's what happens. We love ourselves. And because all we are is God stuff. And love all others as we love ourselves, because they and it is all God stuff. Can't get away from it. It's indestructible. If loved, it holds in place and contributes to the order of all creation. This guy, Raymond Charles Barker's got his spiritual ducks in a row, you guys. I really like what he finishes up with in different things. He emphatically says every person in our world is actually a part of ourselves. Every individual that is now or ever has been or ever will be must exist somehow, God-wise, at this instant, somewhere, someplace. Because we're all part of what we call consciousness. We talk about consciousness here, but we are energetically existing in the subconsciousness, which is the energy reservoir of the one divine God mind. Never runs out of energy. And we all use in our own individual thinking and our living and our loving as spiritual beings, inhabiting our physical bodies. It's almost like a rhythm that we get into. Having our human experience, and that includes in our human perceptions of love, of happiness, of hopes and fears and angers and forgiveness, all the emotional energies that flow through us in the world that we share. I'm going to close down here a little bit here. 11:47. Anybody getting hungry? There are some goodies downstairs that are unbelievable. I opened up the refrigerator when I came in this morning, and I thought, who brought this food? I don't know who it was. Does anybody know? Cheryl. Dang, we love you. Wait till you see it if you haven't seen it. It's a feast. Well, anyhow, so go get through here. Treat yourself to love. Raymond Charles Barker. What a guy. He writes this: can you believe that all are born of a common cause? Can you just buy into that? Just call it God. By our very nature, we are supposed to be unique, however. That's our nature. We're supposed to be unique. Individual. Go ahead. It's not up to you. Oh, this is good. It's not up to you to change the uniqueness of any other living soul on this planet, not even your child. Don't attempt to reform anyone. Stop it. Don't attempt to understand anyone completely. Also, lay off that. Don't attempt to override or control anyone. No, 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 no. Let God run God's own world. And I know it's pretty hard to take your hands off anyone when you think that they're on the wrong path, that they deliberately are choosing to do evil, or whatever you judge is wrong for themselves. It's not up to you to be his or her savior. No way. Now, I'm just going to ask you in closing to please repeat some very empowering spiritual words after me. Yeah. Say this name. Namaste.
Namaste.
The divine in me
The divine in me
recognizes and honors
recognizes and honors
the divine in you.
the divine in you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. We're going to wrap up here.
Ooh, that's a big order. Love, no matter, knowing that it is in the flow. Wow. Okay. I'd like to ask you to sing the part you know on this song, because it's a really powerful song. Love, love, love. Oh, love, love, love. Oh, love, love, love. It's easy. There's nothing you can do that can't be done Oh, there's nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Oh, nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. What do you need? 3, 4. All you need is love. Da 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 da. All you need is love. Na da 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 da. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Oh, nothing you can make that can't be made. Oh, and no one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. Da 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 da. All you need is love. Ya da 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 da. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Oh, nothing you can know that can't be known. Oh, and there's nothing you can see that can't be shown. Nowhere you can be that there isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. Oh, all you need is love. Ya da 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 da. All you need is love. Ya da 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 da. All you need is love. Love is all you need. Oh, and love, love, love. Sing it with me. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. It's easy. Love, love, love. Oh, love, love, love. Oh, love, love, love. It's easy.
Seems everyone knows that one. Thank you, Darcy. So I want to invite Cheryl Ostrander up here. She was preparing food for us downstairs, which looks really good, and didn't get to announce her workshop, which I really want her to do, so I asked her if she would come up now and do that. I have been to her workshop, and it's really, really good, so I really wanted her to tell you about it. And then, God bless her, she's speaking the next day, and she's also a really, really good speaker, you guys, so Cheryl.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share this. Now I have to have something to say next week. Golly, the pressure's on. You know, Reverend Don talked about love. And Darcy said love, love, love. And gratitude is one of those words that we say a lot, and we don't always think about what it means. Sometimes we just go to sleep. Oh, yeah, I'm grateful. Well, leave me alone, okay? Gratitude isn't always what we think it is. Sometimes it goes deep. Sometimes it's a feeling that you arrive at after a process, after a storm in your life. The clouds clear and there's gratitude. Sometimes you have to look for it. So that's what we're going to do next week, next Saturday, the 16th, 12:30 here, and we'll start out in the sanctuary. A little discussion. Nobody's required to share. Share as much or little as you want. And then we get to play. The first time I did this, I didn't tell people what they were going to do. Now the cat's out of the bag. We're going to make masks to show what your face of gratitude looks like. So I invite you to sign up in there if you would like to come. I only ask you to sign up because then we have enough snacks, you know, because that's what we're here for anyway, right? Thank you very much. And thank you.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. And now is the time in our service for our offertory, where we get to offer back in gratitude, this month of gratitude, for all that we have, all that we receive, and all that this center does for us, which I think one of the main things is just coming together in community. So
The words are in your program on the back of the bottom.
there's an affirmation. Affirmations are, as you know, are reminders of the truths that as we go through the day, the year, the month, we forget. And so we have affirmations to remind us. And let us say this together. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
You must give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your heart to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. You must give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your hearts to tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
As we give the love that's in our hearts and share it with the congregation, with the world, we give a power to create the magnificent view of the world, which includes a place for everyone in love and order and peace. And so this giving of our hearts is a giving from the deepest part of our souls into the deepest part of the universe, the divine love. Let us rejoice in love and give thanks. As we do, let us say together, and so it is.
So, our prayer of protection, and then we just end with our peace song, and we just keep affirming peace. We keep affirming peace. So, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let's stand and form a circle and sing together.
Donna's coming.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and now it begins I think so.